Right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's community discussion around applying the DORA research in our context within our teams that we're working on. We will get started with a short presentation from Nathen Harvey, and then we will jump over to the Lean Coffee discussion. Just a reminder that we do use the Chatham House rules, so you're welcome to use what you learn here, but please don't attribute it to any one person or organization. Also, if you see a good tech parody out there, please send it my way, because I am starting to rerun some of the ones we've already done in the last year and a half. Although this one I still thought was actually quite relevant for today's discussion. Let's see. If you have not yet, encourage you to download this year's report or encourage your coworkers, friends, families, all your connections on LinkedIn to do that as well. We are using Google Meet today, and so at the bottom, you'll see you can mute and unmute yourself. Encourage you to stay muted unless you're speaking. With your video, you can have that on or off. Encourage you to have it on if it makes sense for your environment. We've got the raised hand feature. We will use that for the Lean Coffee discussion. So if you want to jump in to the discussion, just go ahead and raise your hand there. And then all the way to the right, we have the chat feature. I encourage you to introduce yourself there. And then also feel free to carry on discussions even right now or during Nathan's discussion and then during the Lean Coffee as well. And then we are recording this portion of today's discussion, but we will stop when we get to the Lean Coffee portion so that we have good psychological safety and we feel free to talk about whatever is top of mind. We do have some new things in the last couple weeks with the community of practice. Nathen, do you want to share the big one up top?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Excited to announce that we do have a new YouTube channel. You can head over to youtube.com/@DORA-dev. And, you know, what do they say about YouTube? Please like and subscribe. Just start mashing those buttons for us. What you'll find over on that YouTube channel are recordings from community discussions just like this one. In fact, hi, I'm on the YouTube channel now. Well, I'm not yet, but I will be by the time you're watching this. But unless you're here, in which case, anyhow. Yeah, so, you know, we put these videos over there. I'm going to skip past one and jump to the bottom one here as well, because in addition to these videos, the other videos that you'll find there are videos from the DORA Community Summit. Some of you were able to join us. Many of you were not able to join us back in October, where we held our inaugural in-person DORA Community Summit. On that YouTube playlist, we have and on that site itself, we have slides from the presenters that were there. We have recordings of all of the talks. Now, I will say that a majority of the community summit was held using the open spaces framework. So it was open discussions amongst the participants. We did not record those, but there were a few talks, and I think you'll find those interesting as well. And Amanda, something about a blog?
Yes, and thank you, Nathen. And then we did add a blog feature to the community site where we will be putting up the kind of recap of our events. So any links that get shared will be shared there. The recording will be right there. So it'll be easy for you to share this. If you're having a conversation with someone and you want to share the community, you'll be able to easily share some of those resources. And, you know, we kind of moving forward, maybe there'll be articles. If somebody wants to write something for the blog, just reach out to us and we can kind of explore opportunities there as well. And Nathen, is there another announcement you want to make?
Yeah, another quick announcement. Maybe you saw this already. If not, celebrate with us. The Text Wrong group puts out, has been for many years now, putting out a DevOps Dozen awards. So 12 winners across community and sort of tech, I don't know what the other category is, maybe industry awards that go out. I'm very pleased and thankful to announce that the DORA report from 2023 was selected as the community winner for the best DevOps survey analysis and research. So go team, and for all of you that voted for us in that process, so much for your support.
Yes. So congratulations to everyone on the call, because this research program is all of us, you know, the survey, the research, and the voting. So thank you, it's very exciting. And with that, Nathen, I'm going to pass it back to you to kick us off.
All right, great. So Hi, everyone. I'm Nathen Harvey. I lead up DORA here at Google Cloud. We're here today to talk about taking DORA and applying it in your own context. What does that even mean? Well, what we've seen over the years of doing this DORA research is that teams that adapt a mindset and a practice of continuous improvement are the teams that are most likely to see real, lasting, sustainable benefits from a bunch of the insights that we have. This is in and of itself an insight from DORA, but let's make it a little bit more concrete. Like, what even is a mindset or a practice of continuous improvement? Really, it's about identifying the things that are holding you back. And by you, I mean you and your team. What's preventing you from improving your own software delivery performance? I'll tell you what one thing might be. It's code reviews. One of the things that we found in 2023 in our latest research, in fact, was that teams with faster code reviews have 50% higher software delivery performance. Oh my gosh, with a finding like that, who wouldn't want to immediately go focus on code reviews and make them faster? That's exactly where we should start. It's low-hanging fruit, as they say. But wait, what if you don't have code reviews because you do pair programming, or your code reviews are already pretty speedy? The theory of constraints encourages us to identify the most important limiting factor, or the constraint, the thing that stands in our way of achieving a goal, and then thinking systemically about improving that constraint until it's no longer the limiting factor. The constraint is often referred to as a bottleneck. So code reviews get us 50% higher software delivery performance, but if your code review today isn't a bottleneck, taking them from, I don't know, fast to lightning fast, ludicrous speed, it's not likely to have a real impact on your overall software delivery process. This is what we mean when we talk about taking these insights and putting them into context with your team, with your application. Where else do we run into challenges with DORA and people trying to, almost apply it without contextualizing it? Well, the other big area we see this happening is with the 4 key metrics. When you think about these 4 key metrics, these are measures for software delivery performance. And on the surface, they seem pretty simple. We're talking about throughput and stability, and we've got 2 measures for each. How hard can that be? But we have to contextualize these for our own purposes. Think about the application or the service that you are primarily responsible for. What is your lead time for changes? Well, when does that timer start and when does it end? When we talk about this within DORA, we generally say that it starts when a change is committed to your version control system, and it ends when that change lands in production. That's pretty straightforward until you pause for a second and think about it. Well, committed to the version control system, where? To a branch, to a particular branch? Does that mean it's merged into our main line? Deployed to production, what is that? I mean, we do progressive deploys. Does that mean deployed to the first user? Does that mean deployed to 100% of users? What about the various regions where we roll out these releases? Which one means it's deployed? As you can see, these things, that's just one metric. These things can get rather complex pretty quickly. And so I think it's really important that teams take the time to think about applying these metrics within your own context. What does it mean for your team to have better throughput and better stability? And I find that the best way to get there is to actually gather practitioners together and have conversations about how this work is completed today. These conversations lead to improved empathy, better collaboration, and an understanding of everyone's motivations. So really taking these things and putting them into context is really important. I oftentimes see teams prioritizing capturing accurate metrics over improving how the system is working. So I encourage you to use this contextualization to really drive how you can improve your own team, your own outcomes. And it's possible. I want to take a look at a couple of examples. So we're going to start with this company called Improbable. You might know them. They are in the gaming space. They do some pretty cool stuff. Well, they identified their build process as the limiting factor. They didn't think about what's our deployment frequency, what's well, maybe they thought about that, but they didn't prioritize that. What they saw was our build times are holding us back. They were building their software weekly. They changed this so that they were building with every merge into their main line of their branches of their code repository. That helped, but build times were still taking an average of 60 minutes. They prioritized that work and got it down to 15 minutes. With these builds happening quickly after every build, they reduced lead times by 300%. And build job success rate went from 80% to 99%. They're doing more builds, and those builds are more stable. Building smaller changes sets more regularly improved speed and stability. All right, let's take one other example. This is gaming. Gaming is tech-led. What about a bank? Can a bank do any of this? Well, ANZ is one of the largest, maybe the largest bank in Australia and New Zealand. They more than doubled their deployment frequency, and this was made possible in part because what they did was analyze and surface some software delivery friction and software delivery related metrics. They used these insights to contextualize what work do we need to do to go and improve. So I really want to encourage you. Oh, sorry, I didn't advance the slide when I talked about ANZ. I just talked about them. So there's a couple of quotes from them there, but look, contextualizing this research is possible when practitioners have conversations about how work is completed today. These conversations can and should lead to improved empathy, collaboration, and understanding of each other's motivations. And probably one of the most important things, these conversations only matter when you're willing and ready and have the autonomy and the space to actually go and change something, to do something differently. So this is a message for all of you out there that are leaders. Don't worry about capturing these measures and these metrics if you aren't ready to take some interventions, change the way that you and your teams work. So when we talk about contextualizing the research, it's really about thinking critically about how the research might apply within your own circumstances. And that's how you're going to get the most from the DORA research. With that, I'm excited to hear how you are contextualizing the research or what challenges you might be running into as you try to do so. So Amanda, I'm going to turn it back to you to kick off the lean coffee.
Awesome. So now it's your chance. We're going to turn this over to all of the attendees to drive the discussion. So I encourage you to head over to the Lean Coffee Table board. Just go ahead and join as a guest. There's no need to sign up. I'll drop the link in the chat. And then you can start adding topics, and you can add as many topics until that you can get in there during the time I allow for adding topics. And then I encourage you to wait to vote until I open voting so that everyone will be able to add the topics and you'll be able to see all the topics before you choose what you're going to vote on. But you'll get 3 votes. You can place those all on one topic or spread them among multiple topics. And then we will start discussing with the topic that receives the most votes. We'll talk about that for about 5 minutes. And then we'll come to the opportunity for consensus as a group. On your screen, you'll be able to vote if you want to keep talking about the topic, if you don't really have an opinion or you're ready to move on. And then based on the outcome of that, we will decide if we keep discussing or we move on. So with that, I'm actually going to come. One important thing, a great quote that Nathen has contributed to our deck is from Rick Rubin, and it's, if you're listening or speaking, either way, you're participating in the conversation. And so today, encourage you, even if you don't really want to talk a lot, but you do have a topic, please just put it on the board, and all you have to do is introduce it, and then the rest we'll take it from there. And you can just be listening, because that's a great way to participate in this conversation as well. All right. If you're still voting, feel free to finish that up. I'm just going to quick go over some tips for participating in today's discussion. To join the conversation, you can raise your hand, and then when you're called on, just come off mute and jump in, or you can participate in the conversation by adding comments in the chat or adding notes to the Lean Coffee board. Encourage everyone, we want to be thoughtful. We want to get as many voices in today's discussion as possible. So at times, if someone has spoken a few times and there's someone new raises their hand, I will go to them first and then come back to you. And I appreciate your understanding when I do that.